Davey, the adversity Kerr's referring to, does that help or does that hurt the Warriors' title chances?
It's definitely going to help.
Oh.
They are a team that can handle tests, and they get everybody's best shot. They get everybody's top opinion every single day. So they're dealing with it. They deal with it all the time. So they can handle what's thrown at them.
How different is this year's brief spell of adversity compared to last year? When last year, at least in my eyes, a lot of it had to do with number 30 wasn't out there, and then you guys had other injuries to go along with it. This year, it's been, aside from Durant recently, a healthy team that's gone through this spell, a healthy team that hasn't been dominant at home. Yeah. How do you compare those two?
You know, obviously, when you're dealing with health issues, that's a totally different ballgame. You've got to change lineups, change, you know, people who are playing, and change your style to a degree, especially when Steph is out. But now, you know, I think it's just the wear of everyone gearing up for you every night, the pressure of having to try to win every single night. And then also just, you know, they had some things go public that we were able to keep, you know, keep in the closet, you know, at other points of the year. So some of that stuff, you know, jumped out there, and it affected them early. I thought they recovered from it, but are working toward, you know, obviously making another championship.
Yeah, let me follow up on that real quick, because you alluded to something that's been reported and that I was hearing, which was last year around January-ish, and I'm not going to quote you on the month, but it was a lot of the, wait, is Kevin Durant, is it going to be two and done here? Like, that was a concern, at least at the front office level, that there was, and when you say you guys were able to keep it quiet last year, some of the same frustration that we saw bubble over publicly between KD and Draymond early in the year on the bench, or Draymond directed at KD, that was, prior to the playoff run, something the team was dealing with last year. Correct? Am I wrong?
Yeah, I mean, there's, you know, you're dealing with egos. You're dealing with guys who are in high-pressure situations, and men are going to clash, especially men who have a lot of pride and have a lot of strong opinions.
I'm going to follow one more thing. Okay. You said men are going to clash. When you announced you were going into Golden State, you were in San Antonio briefly, going to Golden State, I remember thinking, man, I wonder how David West and Draymond Green are going to get along. I would imagine at times amazingly, and also at times I would imagine it would go the other way, because you guys have a lot of similarities, at least to my eye, a lot of similarities in how you got to the league, a lot of similarities in temperament, right, the way you play.
No back down.
Right, 100%. So what was Draymond Green like as a teammate, in a good and in the moments where there was the eye-to-eye moments?
Right. He's great because he wants to win. Sometimes to a fault, he thinks he has to make every play to win. So it's tough, but he's a guy that literally every play he makes is with the intent of trying to win the game.
One of the things we talked about on the show was, it seems to us, and to us here on the set, that the Rockets give the Warriors the toughest fit. But the Warriors seem to think it's the Thunder that they are most concerned and they're most worried about. In your opinion, who do you think is a bigger challenge for this team?
I love OKC and I love PG, obviously. But I think the Rockets are, I mean, Harden, he's probably the best one-on-one guy we've seen ever, in my opinion. And the way he can control a game with the dribble, even with everybody looking at him, you know, if he's healthy, I think they're going to be the toughest challenge, because there's nobody who's proven they can guard that dude.
Now, we know from a scoring standpoint, we know where Golden State has been the last couple of years, especially since they added KD. But there's a couple of things this year that I want to get your opinion on, because I just don't think they're as good. I don't think they have as good as veteran leadership this year as they've had in the past to be able to maybe keep some of that stuff in-house. I don't think they're very good, as good a defensive team. Draymond's been hurt. He's got a toe injury people aren't talking about, so he's not moving. Iguodala's not as athletic. He's not shooting the ball, him and Draymond as well. So when you start to look at it, one of the trump cards I thought for Golden State the last couple of years, man, they could shut you down defensively. I haven't seen that yet, and I don't believe that's a switch that you can hit. And their lack of the other guys being left open and people daring them to shoot the ball, it's affected Draymond, him having his worst season, I think, since his rookie year, and Iggy is not shooting the ball with the type come. Does that worry you, or do you see those two faults in them the way I see it also?
Yeah, I see that, but I think that they can flip the switch. I've seen them do it. I've seen Clay do it. I seen Clay miss a shoot around and come out that night and score 61 points. So I've seen them flip the switch. Obviously, defensively is where it starts, and they've got to become a hungry and thirsty defensive team in order to have a good playoff run.
Real quick, before we move on, I think everyone at this table, if you had to put money on it, would pick the Warriors to win the championship again. If at the end of the year the Warriors have not won the title, the most likely reason for it will be what?
They didn't guard anybody. They didn't guard.
That
It would be defense. It would be defense. It would be defensively. They weren't able to contain somebody, some group of guys.
And our Boogie Cousins, they couldn't hide him enough. That would be part of it, too.
Right. Just defensively.
That being said, you think this is the team standing at the very end?
You know, I do. But I think their biggest challenge is going to be in the East.
Oh, in the East. So not Houston. Is there one team out East in particular?
I'm fearful of Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
Oh, okay.
Got a lot of guys that are wired the right way. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Not chasing the fame, but are going to be grindy, gritty.
They're at the right point in their career. Okay.
Right.
And you must love what the coach is doing then.
Man, Bud is he's one of the best.
And Milwaukee plays as smart a brand of basketball as anybody in the league. Every point they score is either the three or at the rim, and they guard you.
Right.
They are going to get out and out-guard you, and everybody on that team, it seems to have 7'4" wingspan.
Right. They're tough.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.